Okay. Recording has started. Oh my.
Mm, okay.
Greetings.
Salutations and such.
So, how you want to start it? Do you want to give an intro? Because I can edit all like this beginning part out.
What kind of intro do we want?
Oh, we don't need one. Just a
Well, we can tell everybody,
hey,
we can
hey
tell everyone
everyone.
welcome back. Yeah. Um, to our, what is becoming, semi-annual podcast.
Yeah, we'd like to welcome back our one fan.
Yep. And I hope you were able to stick around, and wait with
A
high
bated
an-
breath.
yeah, high anticipation since February.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it was February.
It
That was the last one.
it's almost like we're like professional fishermen on a professional trail. You know how they get all those back to back to back, and
I know.
they
We
won't
just
be on
don't
a
have that much
podcast
time.
for a couple months.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's how I feel.
That's exactly what it is.
I caught a fish one time.
I haven't caught one lately.
So what are you drinking tonight? Hit me with it.
White Claw,
Oh, what flavor?
peach,
I have a white
white.
Russian
It's a theme.
in a basic bitch cup.
No.
That's how I
Well,
roll.
I'm drinking a basic bitch drink, so it all works out.
I found out who our one fan is, by the way.
Ooh, who's that?
My mama.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't even know we had a fan.
That's right.
So,
She told me that she asked me the other day actually when we were going to do another one.
well,
I don't
did you
think
tell
she's
her?
watched. I don't think she's watched the whole episode like on YouTube or anything.
It's probably
But the
best.
little shorts that we upload on other social media platforms,
Hmm.
she liked them, especially the Somalian pirates trying to kidnap. She liked that.
That's the truest one we've ever done.
It is. There's tons of truthiness in that.
It's really nothing but the truth because, yeah, I mean, neither one of us are getting kidnapped, at least not easily. I mean, we've been through it. No need to rehash that, but it's not
Nope,
happening.
not
Mm-mm,
at all.
no. And I'm not trying to say that I'm a tough guy and I'm going down with a fight. No, I'm just going to play dead.
Dead weight is the hardest to move.
And that's where I'm going with that. If you can make me figure out how to get me in your van,
Here we go.
well, the problem is that, speaking of which, I saw
It's
an old,
probably not hard to get me in the van. Just be like, here you
yeah.
go, boobies.
I know, well, that's where I was going with this. They showed an old like public service announcement commercial from I guess the late '80s. Oh no, it couldn't have been late. Well, I don't know. When did Game Boy come out? '90s, early '90s, whatever. But it's like this maybe 30-year-old beautiful blonde lady sitting like looks like she's sitting in a rocking chair at Cracker Barrel playing a Nintendo Game Boy. And she's like, "Hello, little boy. Would you like to get in my van and play my video game?" I'm
Why, yes, I
48 years
would.
old and I'll go get in the van and play. Like, what the, what are you talking about?
It's like you read my mind.
Yes. I actually think I may have fantasized about that at one point.
Oh man.
Ah, well, I went deep on this one. You said to get some stuff together, and I did.
All right. Before we go,
Yeah.
Element, could you please sponsor me? Because I live on your electrolyte packs.
Well,
Okay, go ahead.
you're gonna have to like I would do the like hashtag uh, tag them or whatever because I don't know the odds.
I'm sure they'll see
Maybe,
this.
maybe if Betty is in tight with them, we can make it happen. But I'm just thinking we're gonna have to go a little bit more hashtag heavy, I think, for that.
Look, I've been a fan of Element since they had two flavors. Now you got a bunch of flavors.
Now they got three.
their, their chocolate caramel is excellent in your hot coffee in the morning. Okay, carry on.
Take your no, I'll
My
take your
bad.
word for it. No, I'm just waiting on you whenever you want to get into this.
I'm ready.
Well, it's definitely fishing related.
What?
And it's pro fishing related. However, in fact, let's just see. I'd say my stance on like everything nowadays about the young people coming into it, right?
Uh, Basically, I do believe so.
And as a general rule, not a general rule, but a common belief by most, and I would say, I guess maybe like the older people like us, if we're older or whatever, but some of the more old heads, if you want to call it, is the belief that, oh, it's just being taken over by young kids, video game fishing, blah, blah, blah. And it certainly seems that way, right?
Indeed.
So, what I did was I started out and I started out thinking, well, let's talk about some of the people that probably are not going to get invited back for the elites. But, that kind of been beat to death. And
Me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I said invited back.
Oh,
That would imply you were invited in the first place.
my bad.
So that's been beat to death. And plus, I don't see the problem. What's wrong with that? Of course, I think there should be cuts. You know, if you're not doing well, and get on. I'm glad they don't do it like every year. Like you get one chance, and if you suck that one year, I mean, the way they have it set up, you got like I don't know. It's really complicated how they come up with their math to figure it out. But you've got a few years averaging in there, and if you average less than like 80th, yeah, man, hey, maybe just maybe it's time to come and kick our asses and take all our money locally. You know. But
Right, right.
anyway, where I was going with that is I went and I I wanted to see what's the average age of the top 10 as they sit right now. Elites. I didn't have time to go into like, the BPT or anything else. I just went with the elites.
Cool.
So the average age of the Bassmaster elites right now as they sit in the top 10, what do you what would your guess be?
Top 10 Bassmaster Elite 27.
As they speak right now. Okay. All right. Well, let me give it to you this way. The bottom 10, excluding Matt Herron and Scott Martin, because they are still on
84.
there. Well, one would think that. Um, there's a couple guys down in there that are kind of messing that up a little bit, like Matty Wong, who's not
Right,
not 84. But the average age of the bottom 10, and I'm not saying that the 10 guys that are like going to get kicked out. I'm just saying like basically from essentially 100 through 90, somewhere in there, excluding the two that have both dropped out, right?
right, right.
Excluding those two, the bottom 10 from there, 46.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It'd
eh,
be interesting, isn't it? I know they do the averages and all that stuff, but and I don't know how it does, but somebody who knows a lot more than me, I can't remember what I was looking at, said that there was like all of the people that were in like possibly going to get kicked out this year.
Hmm.
all of them had to finish above 83, 83, I think.
It's
So
yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
I'd be interested to see what like 80 to what is it 101 since Heron and Martin were gone.
It's either 100 or 101, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of interesting to see like 80 through 101. I
That
guarantee
age.
it's not going to be that much change.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I can't remember. There's one person that was 29 that was in that bottom 10,
Logan
but then
Latusa.
no, he's older than that. He's right in there.
Oh,
He's early 30.
oh, Matt Robertson.
No, I think Matt Robertson was no. Who was probably around
Oh,
who's like three behind Latusa?
Joey Cifuentes.
That would be it then. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
that stellar rookie year, and then last year,
Who's right after Logan?
I'm not sure.
Oh, you're not looking at it?
Oh
I thought
no, no.
oh
I have my
yeah.
computer set up like right over here,
Yeah.
and like if I mess with it, I feel like I'm over here, not actually looking at my
Well, I
camera.
mean that's what people do. But anyway,
Yeah.
like so you have Bernie Schultz who's 71 years old.
Right.
So he's cranking the average up, and then you got a 29. But honestly, there's a couple in their 50s. Most of them are upper 30s and 40s. Honestly, that does not surprise me at all. That age group, you know. So currently top 10. You said 27.
I said 27.
Current top 10. The average age is 32.
I wasn't far off it. I'm
No, 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 no.
surprised. I'm surprised it's in its 30s, but
As was I. And
I
then
guess
and I'm going to tell you because I have been a hater. I will sit right here and I will readily admit it. I've been a hater and I've said the young guys are taking over everything, and that is kind of how it feels. So what I did then, it got me thinking. I was like, well, you know what? I went back to pre-split before MLF happened.
right.
So I went to 2015, 10 years ago, pre-split, and I pulled up the final. Now, granted, that 10 I'm talking about today, that's the way they sit today. There's two more tournaments, so it could change, but whatever, it's close enough. So in 2015, the final top 10 at the end of the year, average age, your guess.
40.
35, which not going to lie to you, the fact that they're both so similar actually surprised me a lot. I was with you. I thought that 10 years ago it was going to be a bit older.
Well, what
I,
did you say the average age was
for which one?
for current?
32. Because you got Trey that's going to bring it way down, and then you
But you
got
got
Bill
Bill
Lowen.
Lowen. Yeah.
But the rest of them, I mean, it's like the ages are 26, 36, 20, 30, 51, 28, 33, 37, 36, and 24. They're actually
Yeah.
older than I thought they were going to be. And when you go to 2015 and you start looking at the names, here's the thing about it is that so the AOI that year, winner of AOI, was 43 years old, Aaron Martins.
Well, Aaron was an okay fisherman.
Yeah. Second place was 29 years old, and that was Justin Lucas. So I don't think he's in the top 10, but he's still having a pretty good year, even this year. But then
Lucas?
you, yeah. But everybody else was either lower 40s, upper 30s, um, except for like ninth place Jordan Lee at that year was 24 years old, and Brandon Polinick was 28. So in reality, there this year, as of right now, there's one, two, three, four people in their 20s. At the end of 2015, there was one, two, three people in their 20s, right?
Right.
I I'm surprised, and I'm because I truly thought there was going to be a bigger gap. I really did think you were going to see a bit younger current and a bit older 10 years ago. So is it really, are the young people really taking over? Is this just kind of the way it's always been?
Uh, I don't. That's a tough question. Without looking at the stats, if you ask, it's like, yeah, but the problem is, and it's no, I'm gonna translate this to baseball because when I was young, baseball was my thing. Loved it. Wade Boggs was my favorite player. So I'm I've got his rookie card. I followed him since he was a rookie. As we go through life, we get older along with our people, but we're always going to see them as the top of the sport, even though you have these new sensations that come in. And I feel like it sways our viewpoint a little bit because we're getting older with our heroes. Does that kind of make sense?
Hey,
So
yeah, to a little bit. It's
I'm
just
gonna naturally be that old dude that's like, I am young whippersnappers out here kicking everybody's butt because they are a lot younger. You know, 23. Like I'm not looking at stats. I'm just talking about feelings. 23 back then didn't look as young as 23 does today.
sure, but I would also say that, you know, that that's maybe if you're just looking at it as a perception issue, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, you're more inclined to be with people your age. But the one thing about fishing is that you do have a 71-year-old Bernie Schultz fishing
Yeah,
against 20-year-old Trey McKinney, whereas you didn't have, like, Boggs probably retired right at 40,
yeah.
so
Well,
that's
when you look at the bottom 10, you got Steve Kennedy,
hmm.
you got Bernie Schultz, you
Realize he's
got
not. This might make you feel bad, but Steve Kennedy is nowhere near as old as I thought he was.
yeah,
Sorry, Steve Kennedy. If somehow or
yeah,
another this or some sort of miracle way comes across your social
yeah.
media and you see this, I apologize. But I'm
uh,
telling you right now, I thought you were older.
Ed Lofgren,
As old as I thought he was.
yeah.
And a fellow Virginia guy, I was like, okay, that one makes sense.
Oh, you know what the funny part is well, hey, Steve Kennedy was born in '69,
Yeah,
so I was born in '75.
that's what I'm
Now,
saying. You're you're contemporaries. Like,
um,
I'm sorry, but in my world, like, that makes him basically our age.
yeah, hundred
And
percent. But
and that's just, me thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm not as old as I am, but clearly we are as old as we don't think we are. Because I'm seeing people that's my age on TV, and I'm like, man, that dude's old.
yeah,
And then I saw the birth dates on a lot of these people, and I was like, ooh, especially some of the ones I thought were at least older than me or pretty close. And I realized, wow. Well, and okay, see here, we're gonna go down a rabbit hole here.
Hey,
We might actually end up on someone's page when they see this. Not gonna lie, really thought Bill Lowen was at least 5 years older than us.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you guys may have been born at the same time.
Well, you know, you know what I think is so funny, and this is I am not saying this to disrespect anyone, okay?
And
But
usually followed by a disrespectful statement.
I age people when I don't know how old they are. I don't even have to see a picture of them. I age people by their names. like Ed Lofgren the third. I had him as 90. I mean,
Well,
you
the,
know,
especially
and
when you read the Esquire at
yeah,
his full title, if you saw like
yes,
Esquire or what,
yes.
you'd be like, oh yeah,
And I tell
this.
you what, I've never really gotten to know him. Like he doesn't do a lot of social media stuff and podcasts, but I did watch the podcast with him on Mercer. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I absolutely love him. So no disrespect. I mean, I'd go hang out with that dude in a heartbeat. But
Well,
like
saying
like
somebody looks old as shit, how's that disrespectful?
well, because I
A little
base it
bit.
totally on their name. Like I would say Paul Mueller was probably in his 80s, and he's not anywhere close to that. That's probably like four
No.
times his age. Uh,
Yeah.
Jamie Hartman, Steve Kennedy. I'm just looking at like the bottom group.
Hartman, I think, was another one that surprised me on his
Yeah.
age.
And Matt Robertson, he was born in '86. He's in 97th place. But
Yeah, but he's not because of his other finishes. Like he's shitting the bed this year for sure. But
yeah,
as of this year, right now, he is not. He's not worried about requalifying. I think he'll
yeah,
have problems next year if he continues to shit the bed.
yeah,
You know, I mean, but he's trying to work on like a Milliken social media presence,
yeah, he is.
so that maybe it doesn't matter. I
I like watching
no.
him and his wife on TikToks.
Yeah, none of them top that kid from New York.
Mm.
He's right
Kyle
now kept.
Patrick,
Yeah,
the fruit bat.
he's flat out like the content that he puts out, and it's short, quick. You don't need a long attention span because no one has that anymore. Like so, what he's doing is, I could see him excelling with that,
Well, you know what I did the other
becoming a
day?
Milliken.
I got inspired by Kyle Patrick, and I said I'm gonna go out here on the back porch, and I'm gonna have me a couple drinks, and I took me a pen and paper, and I said I'm gonna write some ideas of some TikToks to do, right? Like Kyle Patrick does, short, quick, funny, all of that. Yeah, I got drunk. I ain't make nothing.
It's usually my plan. That's the quickest. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really the easiest thing to do. It doesn't take a lot of thinking. I think a lot while I'm getting drunk,
and then
but
I forget to
I'm.
write. I get lazy and don't write it down, and then I forget it.
But
So,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
no, there was. We were talking about ages. Jacob Porosnik. Well,
Yeah.
I think we're the same age. Kind of surprised me a little bit. That one. I said, "Wow, okay, I didn't see that coming, but okay."
Now, here's the other thing: is it comes to, and like I said, this is no disrespect to anyone because one of these fishermen I'm about to say their name is one of my favorites. I root for him actively, love him.
Wait, are we
He's my
still
wife's.
basing it off of their names?
Yeah, he is my wife's favorite fisherman
Ooh,
when we're
ooh,
watching together.
okay. Is
Any
it
guess?
because of the name?
No, no, not because of the name.
Is there any particular reason why he's or her favorite? Can I get that hint at
He's
least? There's a
and
bunch of them
cute,
that are.
funny and cute,
Well, I don't.
and he's in the top 10.
Oh, wait a minute. He's in the top
He's
10
in the top 10
right now as we
Mhm.
speak.
as we speak.
I hmm, no
It
clue.
should be a pretty easy one.
I can't remember who else is in the top. All right, so there's
Trey,
yeah. All right, wait a minute. So, what's his name? Shakira is
uh,
first.
Chris,
Chris is
Chris Curat is
Shakira.
first. Chris
Chris
Johnston is
Johnson,
second. Trey
Trey.
McKinney, Patrick Walters, Bill Lowen, Koya Fujita, Will Davis Jr., Taku Itu,
Yeah,
Shane LaHue,
yeah.
and Paul Marks.
Are we trying to? And then the last person,
Paul Marks was number 10.
Paul Marks is 24. So it's one of those 10
Yes.
is her favorite.
Yes.
Patrick Walters.
Nope. Good guess though.
I mean, I wouldn't think it's the Shane LaHue, the Baby Shark.
No.
I don't know. I don't even. You just went over all the names, and it can't be Chris Johnson because he's not funny.
No. All right. Here's my hint. When he
Just well, go ahead.
when he won, he wanted to keep the Yeti hot seat and take it home with him. That's when
He-
excuse me. That's when she fell in love with him.
it's got to be Bill Lowen.
Nope.
What the hell?
He hasn't won this year, but
There's
last
like
year.
two or three in there that I can't even remember now.
All right, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Taku.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I mean, he used to be a comedian. Dude's
I just don't.
funny. That's like
I don't find Asians cute.
she thinks he is so cute. But
Well, that
here's
was
where I
supposed to be
was
a joke,
going.
and no one, in no way, shape, or form did that come out nearly as funny as it was supposed to
Yeah.
be. So
So
we might have to edit that.
so, so here's the where I was going with that is, when we're talking about age, I honestly couldn't tell you how old any of the Japanese fishermen are. I know that people can say Kenta is, the oldest and all, but I just feel like he drinks so many Red Bulls or smoked so many cigarettes. He's probably looked like the Marlboro Man since he was like 12. So,
Yeah, I mean,
you remember that time when we were down in Clarksville and we stayed in the same hotel as Taku and Koya and all of them? They didn't talk to us.
Haku wasn't there.
Taku wasn't, but or
No.
was it? I know Koya
Mm-mm.
was because that was his the Opens year that he qualified.
I know there was two Japanese dudes that literally spoke zero English in the same hotel as we
Yeah, one
did.
of them was Koya, but we'd never heard of him before.
Yeah, I mean, it probably it kind of had to be where,
Yeah,
I mean, um, I just remember them while I'm trying to find some alcohol to drink, they were actually like retying. They were doing
prepping.
shit they were supposed to be doing. Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's correct.
yeah. That might be why he's there.
All right, so now since you've thrown it out there about the age similarity.
Hmm.
All right, so we all know that I'm not a fan of live scope in tournament fishing, but I don't think live scope itself is what's causing this. The big uproar, right? This is a hot take. I think it is lifestyle. You touched on it with Koya out there preparing for the next day instead of looking for a beer. So to me, when I look at the list of the people that are doing the best, and there's exceptions to every rule, but I'm talking about like majority. They are people that might not have as much going on in their life as a whole and can spend more. What's the most important thing in fishing?
I'm a
Time on the
water.
water. And you've got all of these people who, and I heard this from somebody else. They brought up a good point, but a lot of people fish so that they can hunt in the off season. Well,
Hmm.
right now there's a big break between tournaments. Well, you've got a bunch of these names that are in this top 10. Paul Marks for one of them. They're out fishing.
Yeah.
They're not on the bodies of water that they're off limits, but they're on similar bodies of water. They're out there fishing right now. A lot of these people are out there planting food crops and prepping tree stands and stuff like that. because they know once the season comes back in, that time. But also, you've got families, you've got spouse and kids and stuff like that. And I think a lot of it is a lot of the people who are more vocal. Now, I'm not saying that they like forward facing. I'm not saying that. They can still hate forward facing. But a lot of the people that are really, really, really on the extreme side either don't have time. Yeah, I just think they don't have time to really
Mm,
go out and put the time in that these other guys are doing.
I,
And,
I I disagree 1,000,000%.
you know, okay,
I mean, okay, so and I boil it down because you're saying that you don't think, like, obviously the time on the water and what are they doing while they're on the water is the thing.
correct.
Because if you want to sit and say that someone like a Mike Iaconelli doesn't have time to be like oh yeah, he does, sure he does, and he's done it for 40 years. He's put in
Okay.
thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of hours more than these young guys. The problem is that the technology bridges that gap so quickly now. Like if Iconelli was 20 years old and wasn't using the technology, and like he would still be behind if there was kids out and he had, let's say he didn't come from means, let's say he didn't have a way to just fish for 40, 50 hours. He had to go work somewhere most of the week, and then on the weekends he could get out there and do as much, compared to somebody is that's all they're doing. And
I
especially
think
when
you
you
just
add,
made my point.
I know, but the point is that even back then, if you had all that time, it was still going to take years and years and years to get the knowledge you needed to actually
But
contend to be
yeah,
good. Nowadays, you don't. The
I'm not
technology bridges that gap too quickly.
I'm not arguing that there's a difference, because and you know what? I think the difference is now you only really, if you want to compete consistently, and there's going to be times when it doesn't work, but if you want to be in the top 10 at the end of the year, go learn forward facing.
Yeah,
20
as long as
years
it's
ago,
allowed all the time.
20,
Yeah,
20 years ago, if you wanted to be in the top 10, there is no one technique that you could go learn and say that. So that's like you're saying, it's shortening the time because you don't have as many things to learn. You've got one thing. Let's learn this. I might shit the bed on one or two, but the rest of them I'm gonna be up there in the final day or close to the final day cut line. And that's how that's all they have to do. And that's what I'm saying is it's a time thing. These and I don't want to just say the younger guys, because there's guys out there that are in their 30s that have all the time in the world. There's your Mike Iaconelli that you brought up, who's, I mean, near the end of his career, but he's got the time. But what did they choose to spend their time on the water doing? I'm a tournament fisherman,
yeah,
and
but
I've
you're
spent
saying in
my
order
whole
for,
career. I'm Hall of Fame. I'm not going to go out on my spare time and learn this forward facing crap.
I know, but okay, so I think there your argument is valid, and so is mine. Is
Yeah,
are you
they
for
go together. They're hand in
is
hand.
what I'm saying is the fact that, like, Iaconelli has more actual time on the water and just pure fishing knowledge than Trey McKinney. It's going you could ever imagine. Like,
A hundred
yet,
percent.
but yet Ike, as much as I love him and I think he's a great guy, and I wish, like, he can't compete against Trey McKinney right now. And in my opinion, it's only because of LiveScope. uh,
But
I don't think
we're
I
saying the
just
same thing. All I'm saying is with all of Mike Iaconelli's knowledge, if Mike would have taken the last 2 years and instead of dedicating himself to his son's fishing and teaching him how to fish and doing all this kayak stuff and traveling and doing all this stuff, if he did like your Trey McKinney and spent all his time on the water and the majority of that time learning forward facing, if Mike had started doing that 2 years ago, he would not be in 92nd place right now.
Probably not. I mean,
And that's what I'm saying. It's
I
when I say
I
time
get
on the
it, but
water, I'm
no,
not
I
just
yeah,
saying out in a boat. I'm
I
talking about
I get
out
it
there
exactly. It just sucks
learning
that
forward facing. It's the only
it
way to compete now.
it's 1,000%. Like there is no question about it, and that's why I said that the problem is that you take people like you and I that if we're fishing local stuff, but we both have full-time jobs, there's absolutely no chance like that uh podcast that I told you I watched, and I don't know if you did, where they were talking about, you know, did BASS and MLF, are they killing local tournaments and all because they put all of their, funding and resources and all behind high school and college? I don't it's not going to matter. The problem is that BFLs used to be for the weekend warrior to have their shot. That was your chance to either try to qualify for something bigger, to test the waters out, see if you've got what it takes. Can you compete? Can you make some good money on the weekends? That was your chance. And those people that you were fishing against were just like you. We're guys that either worked construction or worked computer. They did something else during the week and then they showed up. Now maybe they had a little advantage at times because they maybe could take Thursday and Friday off before the BFL or whatever or the Bass Nation event. The problem is now is that you're going against people that whether they're a full-time YouTuber and that funds their money and that way they're on the water every day, or in some cases, there's the kids that have parents that are literally bankrolling them to be out there and fish. I mean, Trey McKinney, that kid is an actual, just straight up hammer. He can fish. He is good, period. But he should be because his parents helped him to get. And look, I would do
Don't
the
ask him to
exact
change
same
a
thing.
tire.
Oh, yeah. I would do the exact same thing if I'd have been in his position at
A
that
hundred
age.
percent.
Well, I don't blame the kid whatsoever, but don't get it twisted. Like he got that way because he was able to simply just focus. The only knock I have on him is that maybe he has, but I've seen a whole lot of times where he's being interviewed because he's always in the top 10. Um, and I've never heard him say, "Hey, I want to thank my parents for giving me the opportunity to just focus and do nothing else." Whereas other kids had to worry about X, Y, Z. I got to go I got to fish the opens. I had the truck, I had the boat, I got to go fish opens. When the opens ended, and I knew I was in it, my family allowed me to be able to go to Lake Fork and pre-fish that back when that was legal. He could go and just fish exactly what you're saying. All he did was live on the water. And that's awesome, man. That's great. It's just not realistic for any of us to do that. And therefore, that's why local tournaments, when you're going out there, and even with the stuff we fish, we're facing guys that are spending the vast majority of their time on the water fishing, not just with live scope, but just fishing in general, like you say. We have no chance. We can luck up, you know. We can catch fish, so we can luck up sometimes and end up with a good bag and maybe have a chance. But consistently, never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Home lake or not. Wow, that was a buzzkill, wasn't it? Never going to happen.
I wouldn't say never.
You think there's a possibility with the way with between live scope and the way that the younger people somehow or another have this money and time and resources to dude, we see it every day, Jason, when we pull in and we dump the boat in the water and we pull up beside people. You and I both, we have good jobs, you know? We're not poor people, but we sit beside people and, between their truck and the boat, $200,000 rigs, and the dude looks like he's 25 years old.
Right. And and
Uh,
I'm not
what-
saying it's easy, but it is doable.
for who? Us?
I guarantee you, hear me out on this. I guarantee you that if we took the rest of this year, and I'm not saying we'll ever do this, but if we took the rest of this fishing year, if you took the boat and just dumped it in Sandy River 3 times a week and just put your trolling motor down and went right out there, out in kind of, the middle section in between the 2 points and the flat, every for 2 hours, three times a week, and just practice finding those fish. You see the fish, and then the hardest part of all, making them bite when they don't want to bite. Because if you look at the people like Trey McKinney, he can he can make them bite when they don't want to bite. When he sees them on that scope, you see so many people. We see it. I mean, he caught that one. Was it the 10 killer? He caught one that had a fresh jerk bait in its mouth. The thing was still bleeding, and it went and ate his jerk bait. I mean, it, they they figured out how to do that, and that's one thing we don't have. We see fish. How many
Yeah.
fish do you see on there? You know?
Oh, I see some sort of fish.
Yeah, yeah, and
I'm not
that's
going to sit here and say what it is, but I see
yeah,
some sort of
and that's
fish.
the thing. A lot of the pros, if you listen to what they say, and I'm not talking about just the good ones. I'm talking about people that aren't good with forward facing. But they all say the same thing. That it's like the more you do it, the more you learn what's a bass, what's not a bass, what's a decent sized bass compared to a bunch of little bass, what's a crappie, what's a carp, how, by how they move and all of that. And if you think about it, we've gotten better at that. I You'll sit there and when you see the fish, you'll see how they react to your bait, and you'll immediately say, "That's not a bass." Now, our problem is then we throw back at it 4 or 5 times
Well, I
just
want to
to
make
prove
sure
that it's not a bass. And guess what?
it wasn't a
What
bass.
wasn't a bass.
Yeah,
But
I
but you
don't
know what I'm
disagree.
saying? It's just one
Yeah,
of those.
but I still think we're going to run across one big problem. So what you're saying is you're correct. We could get a whole lot better with the technology.
Right.
The problem we're still going to run into is, and now maybe we could do a better job as far as like if we really, really, truly wanted to get serious, serious, serious about it. So when we go to, High Rock and we go to these places and we travel around, um, because one of the problems we go to Smith Mountain, that's where we fish second most, or maybe even as of the last couple of years, probably fish there more than anywhere, correct?
Yeah.
Even if we are good with our technology, why are we not going to compete right there? Compete up there.
Well, I know you're going to say because of the people that's the only place they fish, and I agree.
And
I'm
not
not
just at
saying
that.
we're
No,
going to go
I'm
out
not. No,
and
what I'm saying is even at High Rock, we got to go down, and as long as you're allowed, spend 3 days practice. Like it needs to be a freaking week almost. If we truly, 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 if it's a 2 day tournament or a one day, even if it's a one day, if we could get there and fish Thursday and Friday practicing, and then a tournament on Saturday. So if we at least know where we should be going, where they're at in the site, what stage they're at, and then we can implement what we know. With our problem is that most of the time we'll show up at some point on Friday morning, maybe try to get a half a day of practice in at best because we have jobs, and then we roll out there on Saturday with the best plan we can come up with a few hours of practice, and hope we're going to compete. And we can get lucky. And it's not just lucky. I mean, we can run into them sometime, but it's not going to be consistent. And you're not going to be consistently
No,
competing
no.
against these people that have so, like, somehow or another. I mean, what's that one kid that I actually like watching his stuff, that he fishes a lot of the same stuff we do, from North Carolina?
Uh, Dice
Yeah,
is
Jack
obsessed
Dice.
fishing. And Jack Dice.
Jack Dice. Yeah. Uh, Look at how much, like, he gets practice days. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that to
I
me
mean,
is,
I agree with you. But I guess my train of thought is let's look at our problems. All right, so we got lack of practice days,
yeah,
big problem. We've got competing against home lake people,
and guides.
which includes a lot of guides on the lakes. All
Yeah, can
right.
we point that out again, that we're still, guides are allowed to fish in local tournaments?
Yeah. So lack of practice days, fishing against local hammers.
Hmm.
Um, we are still learning how to find fish, which plays a lot on the why we need more of these practice days.
Correct.
And for the technology, we we have not truly learned the technology. So that's four things against us right there. My camera's reversed. So when I move this way, I'm thinking I'm going in front. So in my opinion, we can't do much about practice days. Sure, we can get some more in. Like at least a lot of times we'll get a half day at minimum, possibly a little more than a half day. That's something we can work on. Fishing against local hammers and nothing we can do about that.
Mm-mm.
Finding fish, where what stage they're at, where they are, just finding them. That comes with time on the water and the technology aspect. That same thing. It takes time on the water using it to learn it. All I'm saying is instead of having four things against us, the one thing that we can do something about right now is practice with the technology. Learn, and I'm not just talking about forward facing. I'm talking about really hone in on being able to use the side scan and 2D to locate the fish. Then you drop the forward facing in. Then you have to learn the forward facing. That's something that we can work on. The side scan and all is a little hard to work on, on Sandy because
Local.
you can't fire up the big engine.
Well, apparently you can at Briar.
Apparently. But
That's literally.
you can at least we,
That's exactly. You need to. I need to contact that guy and ask for permission to use his video. And
yeah.
at the beginning of this, that's the video we need to show. Just put some music over top of that idiot firing it up on Briar Creek.
I'm gonna put it right here. Wait, I want to point right here.
I guess I don't know. I just know I see a whole lot of times where, like, news outlets will reach out to the person and say, "Can we use this video?"
Don't worry, I'll tell mom not to report me.
Yeah, I think that's our only word, other than him.
But anyway, we have a lot of hurdles. That could be the episode title. We have a lot of hurdles.
I mean, we got a lot of hurdles, and we're gonna just. I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm tired of donating money to these some bitches.
Yep.
Point blank. I mean, I'm just tired of I'm tired of the freaking guys spending all week on a lake, and then for a local tournament, you got to go out there and you've been working all week long, and you show up and they already know where they're at. You know, they know what's going to happen. They know what's been working. They know what worked yesterday for their clients. That
They
it's
know where
it
their fish cages are.
that too. It's just it's frustrating and it's annoying, and it should not be allowed. If people are putting money up, well, I mean, I guess the argument could be made. You know they're there, so you don't have to give them your money.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like I've spent so much money this year, and it's only the seventh month of the year, and I just paid bills today, and I've finally paid off my fishing credit card. And like the BFLs are at the James River last weekend and this weekend, and I wanted to fish both of them, and I'm not going to fish either one of them because of money. And I really feel like that is probably, as far as you're talking about, luck of the draw and chances, the best shot that either one of us have on really, really learning is getting paired with someone good that's not going to completely backboat you. But even if he does backboat you, at least you're seeing on a body of water that you fish regularly. Like, because the BFL is going to occur in Smith Mountain as well.
Hmm.
Um, to learn from them, okay, I might not be in the money as a co-angler, but I might. I might. I have just as good a chance, it seems. Well, I'm going to have to go probably better chance because you remember that check you cashed?
Hmm.
That was as a co-angler on a BFL. But
That was also I got extremely lucky with two
ex-
guys that did not once look at their
correct,
forward facing.
correct. But compare percentage of checks cashed from being a co-angler on any BFL or the opens or whatever versus team.
Well,
And
I can tell you that at 100%, you want to talk about percentage,
Mhm.
out of being a co-angler between opens and BFLs and whatnot, I have a 100% record of not catching a fucking fish when I was on the back of a boat with someone that did nothing but forward face all day.
Right.
The one time that happened to me is the one time I did not catch an entire fish. And you want to know what I learned? I learned that maybe if he'd, if it hadn't have been the opens and he hadn't have been, I don't know, was he leading the opens at that time? Close to it.
I mean, he was up there.
He was up there. If it hadn't have been for that, I might have pushed a little bit harder to actually say, "Hey, can I come up there and see what you're doing? You know, what you're looking at." But instead, when you're that far back on a boat, you can't see what he's.
Carry you one of
So
those little
I
18
get
karat
what you
binoculars.
I get what you're saying. You know, you can learn. Yeah, you can learn from some things, but if a guy is straight up in the middle of water, like he was, just picking uh frag garters off of, brush pile beds
Yeah,
in 20,
my
20
understanding is
20 to 25 feet of water, and you're just sitting there looking around, you're not learning a lot.
well, I mean, I learned just from you telling me what he was doing. With
Well,
the
I
basically he
learned.
was getting out there in a ditch because it's a drain that comes down, and he was just going back and forth looking for a ball of fry with a bigger fish guarding it and throwing at the fry garter. I mean, right there, I learned that from you telling me what he was doing.
Yeah,
I was basically only talking about
we've tried that.
return on investment.
No,
That's
100%. No, I'm not
and
disagreeing with that whatsoever. But when you use the word percentage, I just had to throw that out there. Is that one's a 100 zero fish sitting in the
yeah.
back watching somebody watch a video screen.
Now I learned in that one about the shad spawn in the buckbrush. I'd never seen it before. I
Yeah.
mean, now
Oh,
I didn't.
you can learn every time you go out. I
I
don't
caught
disagree with
zero
that.
fish that day, but I wasn't prepared for that type of fishing, and I had two break me off.
You know what, dude? I just told a lie. I said I caught zero fish. It was 100%. That is incorrect because with about 10 minutes left before he had to be in, or we had to be in, we stopped at that bridge in the riprap and he was like, "Is this what you were doing? Is this what you want to throw at?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I caught a catfish. Yet again,
The curly crankbait catfish.
I tell you what, if you want to catch a catfish on Bugs Island, Kerr, whatever you want to call it, come fish with me. But
And drum.
make sure you bring some square bills because if you bang them across enough rocks, you're gonna catch you some catfish.
Catfish and drum.
Yeah, well, and what was the other thing? That no,
Oh
that was down in North Carolina, wasn't it? No, where was
no,
that?
that was on Grassy down at Kerr.
When
You
I was
remember
catching what was it? The sockeye?
sorghum?
What? Sourgum? Yeah, wearing them out with a square bill. Every time. Whoop, I got it. And see, that was another one. I saw him up on that point. I said, "Look at all these fish piled
Yeah,
up on this point. We're in it." And when that first one hit, I said, "It's on. We're
I had
on
the
it.
net ready.
It's on." Sorghum. What are they really called? Sorghum.
Sorghum,
Sourgum.
sorghum.
It's a tree.
But hey,
Mm.
here's what it is: is co-angling as much fun? Eh, Probably 75% of the time, no.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper, and I think we've proven that it's a higher return on investment.
Well, it is a yeah. I mean,
You might
unfortunately,
that
when
check
you
might have been
word it
written to
that
you, but I consider it a we.
when you word it that way, yes, it was definitely a higher return. It just, you know,
Yeah,
it wasn't quite high enough. I mean, no, it covered all the entry fees and everything. So,
yeah. Well,
which
for that weekend for you.
I was about to say, if we went fishing the next week in another tournament, I just went right back in the hole. Oh
But
man, all right.
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I mean, we either quit and we focus on our tremendous and like truly captivating social media empire that we're building with our third podcast in eight
I'm still
months.
waiting for those ancient aliens to come down and build me a social media platform.
Uh, Apparently, they can do crazy things with AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe, ooh, you know what? That's probably not wrong. We probably could just use AI and come up with a much better scheme than what we got going on. Or we just stick it out and work hard. The old Puritan way. Just keep our head down and pull ourselves with our bootstraps, and
So
right?
hear me out. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
There's the camera. All
Then I
right.
got to go to bed.
Yeah. All right. So what we could do, but
Mm.
this would involve probably 100% Smith Mountain Lake, uh, Briary Creek. It's
Mm.
Sandy River. I'm strictly bodies of water that have above average size bass with the possibility to hit a 10-pounder.
Oh, well, Bug Kerr.
And that's all, folks. Good night.
Good
Uh,
night.
um, there are a lot of the online tournaments where you get to fish at your leisure. Like Bill Dance puts one on. It's the Bill Dance Giant Bass, and they do like monthly payouts. It's like $44 for an entire year. It goes from like July 1st to June 31st, and every month they do payouts for the biggest bass caught in
Is
regions.
it
So it's like,
length?
well, no, you can do either length or weight, but you can only choose one of the divisions, length or weight. And then, of course, you got to have
I
like
don't trust
the,
weight.
yeah, they list like 4 or 5 different digital scales that, and one of them is the Rapala one.
Yeah,
Uh,
but how many mofos are chunking lead weights down a fish to win a bill dance?
okay,
That's a problem.
you got poo
That's
poo on everything.
no, I'm saying do the length.
Uh,
It's harder to cheat the length.
All right. Well, either way,
Yeah.
there's tons of these tournaments. I was just saying this Bill Dance one is the newest one out, and then once a year, like if you're in the, I don't know, I think they do it. I couldn't really, I haven't fully read the rules, but once a year they do
If you read the rules, you're cheating.
overall grand prize for each division, and it's like a brand new boat and a Ford F-150 to pull it. But there's monthly, like cash prizes, and it's only $44 for a year. But you can enter 4 or 5 of these different tournaments that are just like that, and you catch one fish, and you might could win 2 prizes or
Yeah. I
3.
mean,
Because we've been doing some of the big bass stuff. It seems when we do the big bass, we do not catch said big bass. We only catch them in regular tournaments, and that's the only fish we catch. But um,
I love
but you
the sad look down at that
but
point. Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? We could do something like that, and that way you're not going out here, and you don't get the real tournament atmosphere. That's the downside.
Yeah.
We don't have to blast off, but then again, we're not blasting off against all of the people that we've complained about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, the one good thing about these is the way they all break down. I've looked at a bunch of them, is the regions. So our region comes across the Virginia North Carolina border and goes up.
Oh, we
Well,
got that.
yeah, we've got the bigger fish. The only place that's going to get bigger than what we've got here, I mean, you've got to go like to Ontario and catch one of the 7-pound smallmouths to compete with. How often are 7-pounders caught at Smith Mountain or the Chickahominy or wherever, down
Really?
here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
you've
yeah.
got a leg up on it because of the regions.
Yeah.
Now, with the length versus weight, I think you're going to get more people doing length simply because that's the way online tournaments have always been. This whole weight thing is pretty new to online. So most of like your kayak anglers and uh, other online things, they're only do length. So that's what everybody's set up to do. So I think you're going to be fishing against a lot more people doing length. But if you plug weights in them and you win, you still have to take a lie detector test.
That was going to be another one of my topics, but
Yeah.
we'll have to save that for next week.
Yeah, I really wanted to get into the whole Logan Latusa thing, but yeah, it's too
Or
late.
that was actually my number one thing that I went with until I started doing the average age, and that really just kind of surprised me, and I decided to go with that. But yeah, the yeah, that sucks because that dude's probably gonna be kicked off after this year because of that.
Probably.
Unless he just smokes them up north, and that's complete and utter horseshit when it's
Dude,
his livelihood, his
he
life.
lost he lost like I can't remember, somewhere between 25 and 30
Yeah.
points. Like positions, not points,
No,
positions.
it was like I think he was like 64th and he went to
Yeah,
88 or something like that.
yeah,
89.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
somewhere between 25 and 30 positions he lost because of
Yeah.
that.
And it was yet another
I've heard
example
it's a lot
of,
of bullshit, but I haven't looked too much into it.
well, I mean, hell, you can edit out a whole bunch of this stuff. Might as well while we're here. But I mean, it was something about a social media post that he saw, and he even told them about it.
Yep.
And he took a lie detector, and it came back as inconclusive. And then so he took another one, and it was inconclusive. And so it boils down to whoever makes the ultimate decisions at Bass decided, well, that's failing a polygraph, and he's going to forfeit. I think he finished in what, sixth, or it was a top 10.
Yeah, he was up
I
there.
and the whole thing is like the whole thing about the rule is to gain an advantage and whatever. Just the fact that there is no intent taken into account. Um, I don't know. It's tough. That's a tough one. However, I did see a counter argument from something about the NPFL, which is, I think we both agree, beating all their both major tournaments asses right now. Um, well, maybe not in radio. Anyway, it's doing well, but when they disqualified that guy like at their first tournament or second or something because
Right.
he asked the cameraman how his buddy was doing because he knew his buddy, and when he asked the cameraman, hey, is he catching them? Was his intent to go cheat? No. His intent was to find out, hey man, is my buddy gonna win this thing? You know?
Yeah.
But he the rule's a rule and it's over. So the argument is do you really take into consideration what intent is? Because can you ever truly know someone's intentions? So that's a tough one, man. And I think it makes it tougher because of the guy that Latusa seems to be.
Yeah.
If he was a dick, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, whatever, dude, you knew better. But then again, I don't know. Like, I guess when you're in a tournament, man, you like those guys are, and that's your livelihood. I know you want to make content throughout the tournament and everything, but you might just need to hire somebody to do it for you and you not open up social media at all. But I don't
Yeah.
understand how it's kind of like what you were talking about a minute ago, a public forum.
Yeah. I mean, you need to do stuff like uh, Polinick and Milliken. They've got people that do all the taping and editing for them. So when they're on at the tournament, they don't do
Yeah,
it.
but
I
I
mean, they
mean,
don't do it themselves anyway. But
later that night, if you're at home and you're scrolling through Instagram and someone pops up and they're like, "Hey, this is where all the fish are on Ten Killer." I mean, You didn't intend. You
Yeah.
didn't search it out. You didn't try to find it.
Yeah. If
It
them
just
elites
popped
only
up.
knew this secret.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and like, how do you? How do you, I don't know. I, it just sucks, and when you're dealing with somebody's livelihood, and I guess at the same time you can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, we're not going to punish him because he's lower in the standings, and this might get him." It might remove his qualification. You can't make decisions like that either. That's not fair either. I don't know if there is a right way to go about that. So
I got nothing.
I got nothing either. Other than I got to pee real bad.
Tune in next week to see the
Did
striking
he make
Viking
it?
being.
All right, later, dude.
All right, out.